Alright, we're going to switch over to our Golgari Conduit deck here. Now, this deck is a Golgari deck that does not win with the talent combo with Vraska. This actually is all about trying to take advantage of Conduit of the Worlds by just replaying just really good cards for great value. Now, one of the things that this does, just by default, is when we play the lands from our graveyard, which means that it works great with landfall cards like the new Vine Lasher. So, if you're not familiar with Vine Lasher, you can spend 1, pay 2 for the Offspring, and you get a 1/1 token copy of itself. And both of them have the ability that whenever a land you control enters, you get to deal 1 damage to target opponent. This means by running cards like Fabled Passage and Escape Tunnel to sacrifice to go fetch a land and put it onto the battlefield, these just do a lot of damage. And make it so that way we can play the lands back from our graveyard so we don't even have to worry about did we draw land, means that we can throw lots of damage at the opponent just by playing lands. The other ability this card has is whenever you can tap this, whenever you choose to tap this, you get to choose target non-land permanent card in your graveyard. If you haven't cast a spell this turn, you may cast that card. If you do, cast an additional spell this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. What this is a downside is, that means it does limit us to only 1 spell for the whole turn. But the upside is we can cast any permanent card. That means that we can recast the Vine Lasher with the Offspring ability, and we can play a land for the turn and start doing damage. Or we can just replay cards like Glissa or any Planeswalker. Now, I'm actually not using a Planeswalker build with this one. So you won't see me using like Liliana's to keep coming back from the graveyard or things like that. But we do have like the Chupacabra Echo, that when it enters the battlefield, it gets to give a creature -X/-X for each permanent we have in our graveyard. We're running Sheoldred, the 5-cost one just simply called Sheoldred, that when it enters the battlefield, our opponent must sacrifice a creature or a Planeswalker, non-token. But we can also spend 5 to exile it, return to the battlefield as a copy of the its backside, which is the enchantment that starts off immediately target destroying any Planeswalker or creature. Phase 2 of that chapter says that opponent will mill 3 cards and then also discard 3 cards. And the last chapter says that we get to steal all their creatures from all graveyards to our battlefield. Now, this is actually really good when paired with Conduit, because that means that if the opponent does destroy the Sheoldred, we can play it back. If we have enough mana, because we can only cast 1 spell, we can end out also do the flip into the Scriptures. We're running Argentum Masticore because it allows us to take more advantage of the Conduit. This is a card that you probably don't really see play, where it's a 5/5 for 5 first strike protection from multicolor. At the beginning of our upkeep, we must sacrifice it unless we discard a card. But whenever we discard a card this way, we destroy a non-land permanent, and the opponent controls the mana value less than or equal to the mana value of the discarded card. So we have ourselves the advantage of also being able to discard like Virtue of Persistence to it, and then recast Virtue later in the match to through the Conduit of the Worlds, and then just naturally recur all of our creatures. So there's lots of little combos in the deck. We're also running Lumra, Bellow of the Woods to maybe bring back all of our lands in one go and get like a massive Vine Lasher ping turn. We're running Harvester of Misery because it's a good early card that we can discard to stay alive against aggro decks, as well as be a -2/-2 sweeper. And this will be great because if we discard it early and then we play Conduit, we can then bring this back out to stabilize the board multiple times. And for just value creatures, we're running like Creature of the Schism, Glissa, the Mosswood Dread Knight. And we're running Pillage the Bog so that way we can find any card that we need in a specific point, or we can just, go search for the Conduit of Worlds. That's the general idea of the deck, and we'll try to jump into games and see how well it does. To answer your question, Izzy, the reason I'm not using the Desert Lands is because I need enough basics for the using the fetch lands I'm using, and the Desert Lands are naturally just slow, and I don't have the real ability to like sacrifice lands to bring them back. Alright, I'm gonna immediately start off with a mulligan because Wrong lands. Okay, this time we at least have a land to fetch with. We'll keep. I think I'll give up the Dread Knight. Okay, mono red. Play this. Pass. I'm not going to immediately give the opponent knowledge on what we're doing here. We are going to try to virtue off the hero. Oh, okay, that's the aura that you can keep playing back from your graveyard. In which point I'll go ahead and yes, I'll crack this now. We're going to get the swamp. Virtue's going to get rid of the hero, and we're not going to have to worry about the hero coming back for any damage to our face because we turned its power to 0. And mono red, keeping that very greedy one-lander. Alright, we're going to play Glissa here. Then hopefully we can draw a land, and we will probably offspring the Vine Lasher. Like, we offspring Vine Lasher, then we play whatever land we draw. Okay, offspring, auto pick. Play this, do some damage. I'm gonna get greedy, right? The opponent only has 1 land. We'll draw a card. And we'll bring out the other Vine Lasher here. Because I'll probably use 1 as a blocker, so that way we can play the Echo. And that will allow us to remove one of the Swiss Spears. Yep. Alright. Play the Echo. Remove a Swiss Spear. Play the Cottage, and this time we're going to hold Sunslayer back. Next turn is probably going to be play Sheoldred, attack with the Sunslayer. Now, yeah, opponent, though, playing mono red, not drawing any lands. They're getting punished for their 1 land keep. This is one of the reasons why you don't usually keep 1 land. Okay. I block it. I don't lose anything, because first strike death touch. I could give opponent. We'll play our Shelly. We'll combat. Yeah, and there they go. Yeah, that's just was too easy because the opponent only had 1 land. I can't really count that as really a we're doing our thing, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and keep this hand. Do I figure out if I immediately play this, or I hold off? I think I'll go ahead and immediately play it. Because next turn I can then draw a card with this, play tap land for turn 3, play this. And I don't plan on blocking, so I'll attack. Now here comes the question. Do we play the Prowler so we can dig for 4th land? Or do we play the Dread Knight? We don't play anything. Why don't they play anything? They play Cavernous Souls, so it's not like... Alright, well, I guess we'll go Prowler. I'm gonna go for that land. Okay, and we will grab a swamp. Okay. Oh, okay, so they're on rabbits. I thought they were maybe frogs. I'll offer them the trade. If they have a spell they'll use, cool. Let's bring out Shelly. Let's slow him down a bit. Okay, we do fail to hit land, but we can play Conduit and get our lands that way. We'll play out the Fable and pass. Depending on what the opponent plays is whether we will end up playing out the Harvester of Misery or if we'll probably go for the Vine Lasher. Mentor. Okay. Hop to it. Alright, looks like we are going to go for Harvester. Because Harvester will just full board wipe them. Because they're going to swing a Might Caller, right? And we'll offer the trade with the Shelly. Let's go ahead and crack. Get ourselves a... I don't think it matters what we get. So I'll grab another swamp. Play Harvester. -2/-2 to everything. Land. Pass. Yep, that's a hop to it. Alright, they grab them all. Let's play Vine Lasher. Play Prowler. And we decline adding the land, so that way we get a counter. Back Fable. Grab a land. Play Fable. And do this again. Then we'll play another Prowler. It's actually working out really well. We'll swing the 5. I'm fine with trading for 2 rabbits. And the opponent is now at the point where they're dead the moment we play land. Good game, opponent. Now, this wasn't the fastest version of rabbits that has hit the board. Because they had some early mana issues. But I do like our performance against it. Yeah, we'll just take 2. That's fine. For fun, we will... I was going to say, bring out the other Vine Lasher from the graveyard. Play the Fable, and... yeah. Conduit of the World's Value there. Okay, this looks like a fun hand. Let's keep this. Let's play the Prowler. Try to find that land. We do find the land, and we will grab the cottage. Now, the Dread Knight we can't play back from the graveyard because we milled it into the graveyard. It didn't die. We'll go for Preacher. I imagine the opponent is playing like red-white control because of the land options I'm seeing here. Alright, well, let's go ahead and go Vine Lasher Offspring. I'm going to go Fable instead of going to the Cottage, even though it does mean that I'm not going to be able to play a 5-drop next turn, unless I top deck a land here. But I imagine the opponent is going to potentially hit me with a Sweeper some type. I love the fact that I'm going to draw Conduit. Yeah, this is the red-white. Yeah, so I figured that lockdown was coming, which is why I immediately went for burning the... burn the mana there. Pass. So we can play Preacher back from the graveyard if we want to try to just play for mana, like card hand value. But I think what I'm going to do is play the Masticore. So if I play the Masticore, I can destroy the lockdown if it survives a turn. Okay, we drew a backup Conduit. Not what I was hoping to draw, won't lie. Alright, we'll just play the tap land for the turn. Now, protection from multicolor, probably not going to do anything here. I imagine it's going to get hit by Get Lost. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think what it is, if our Masticore survives to the board, I'm going to discard Virtue Persistence to destroy Lockdown, and then I'm going to cast Virtue from Graveyard. That's a big if. I block, because I have first strike. Okay. That will exile if they have another one of those. Nice. Alright, well done, well done. Like I said, it was a big if. So let's see, we can play this. They don't have anything to sacrifice in their whole deck. But I think it's a better body than Preacher. Because if it survives a turn, I can transform it into something that will make them discard their hand. And we're going to continue deck setting with the Fable Passage here. Okay, they're going to draw cards. Wasn't able to play this deck at all once when Farewell was in the format. And now that Farewell is rotated out, we can actually have some fun with this. Let's see. I actually need them to have more cards in hand, graveyard now I think about it, so I can't use that. Let's go ahead and attack. We'll bring back Preacher. And pass. Yep. Alright, opponent's down to 11. They have a fair amount of cards in hand now. Sunfall's still bad for us, but... we still have the creature land activate. Let's bring this back. I can't cast this with this, can I? Oh, it actually is letting me do that. Something about that feels kind of wrong, but let's go ahead and do that. Animates. Combats. I don't think they have any way to recover their spells, but that's the only card I'm really, like, I want to get rid of. Alright, opponent's turn. Alright, we've almost taken every single land out of my deck that's a basic. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. We still continue to draw lands, which is insane, considering how many of them I have pulled out of the deck. See, we'll go ahead and bring out the Dread Knight. Animate the cottage. Cottage will go in. Yep. I was kind of expecting that. I'm going to submit 0. Okay. Opponent has nothing to put pressure on me. I will go ahead and use Virtue. Eat that. And we will go get another land out of the deck. Please, deck. No more land draws. We have plenty of mana here. Alright, Virtue of Loyalty. Yep. We'll play out the Glissa. We'll attempt to animate. Attack. No, just in case. Let's get rid of the Carrot Cake. I feel like Carrot Cake they might actually be able to bring back. Cool. I got rid of both of those. And I replay it back to the board. They're doing an impressive job of staying alive, but I think we're doing an impressive job of not actually losing the ability to keep doing stuff. Hello, opponent. I'd like to attack you for 4 again. And the opponent loses 1 life every time they create one of these little fish tokens. Uh-huh. We'll play this. Get the last basic from the deck. And we will draw a card. There's something we've been looking for. Branchwood Prowler. Even though it's not likely to hit a land for us to add to hand, at this point, the it fills the graveyard so I can keep casting stuff with Conduit. You know what? We'll go ahead and still swing them both. There's a chance that the opponent punishes my attack here with the Shelly. But if they plan on playing, activating Create Fish to block, and then sacrificing Fish to draw, it's still going to hurt them quite a bit. In fact, it is going to be lethal to them, because I just pass and they draw for their turn and they lose. They have to draw something that removes children off this draw, or gains them life. And that's GG. Alright! Woo! We win the game! That took forever, but they kept using board wipes and torch the towers to exile stuff. So if we were just a normal aggro deck, I think they would have won, just because they had all the types of removal to tell aggro you lose. So awesome. Okay, so we start with Pillage in hand. But we don't have anything we can do, so we're going to mulligan. Better hand, actually. We're going to put Lumera on the bottom, and the hand's actually pretty keepable. Okay, let's go ahead and start off digging for the lands. Let's go ahead and grab the Blooming Marsh, because we can just play it. And it'll be untapped. Alright, they played Bat. What does the Bat grab? There's a lot of dangerous cards, and we have 2 removal spells, so we can always just murk the Bat. I love that draw. Let's do this. Offspring. Get in there for 1. Now I just need to hit an untapped land. Okay, opponent plays Talents, which means we need Kalista to the board. Oh, we hit the land. That's good. So next turn we probably have to kill the Bat. I imagine they're gonna murk my Sunslayer. Yep, there's go for 3. But we play Conduit. Conduit, and then we can play the land for the turn. Play the land from the graveyard. We need an answer to the Conduit before they play out Vraska. Liliana upticks, I discard Swamp. That's fine.
No more distractions. Let's make this
They didn't uptick this first, so that's actually great for us. Like, if they went level 4 on this, then played Lily, I would have been in a lot of trouble. Yep, each player discards a card, discard the Swamp.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
We need Sunslayer. First things first, we attack Lily. Play the land. Grab this back. Yeah, I figured that this would happen. I was thinking it's like maybe I just might need to just use Feed the Cycle on the bat and call that good enough. But there's that level 3, so I could just be dead from next turn because they just simply go Vraska and I lose the game. I can't kill that with Feed the Cycle because I'm short 1 card in Graveyard or 1 mana in general. We discard Pine Lasher.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Pick a draw. Because we can use this to do a lot of damage here. Offset a lot of the life gain they've been getting with the bat. Bring back the Sunslayer. Combat. Get rid of the Lily. And it's just a matter of, do they have Vraska? If they have Vraska, I lose the game. If they don't have Vraska, well, the game's still on. Okay. Well, we have to get rid of the bat. Pay the 1. Bring back the Sunslayer. Because it's safer for me to bring back Sunslayer than try to, like, go for the win with the Vine Lashers. And in case the opponent has Recursion, let's get rid of their Sunslayer. Do we just suddenly lose a opponent? That is the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the opponent's probably trying to figure out if they play Vraska by paying the 2 life, can they still win? And the answer is yes. If they pay the 2 life, it still comes in with 10 counters on it for loyalty, which is enough to use the -9. Yeah, there it is. Good game. You got it. They weren't sure. I could tell with how they were looking. Hello? I think they chose to play the spell in Scoop because they thought they were going to lose, not realizing it came into play with 10 counters, which was enough to win the game. Either that, or they just went, you know what, hey, I know I won, but you can go ahead and have the win. And we got the pity win. But I'm not sure. I'm just going to assume it was the early Scoop, but we'll take it. Yeah, that's the thing about the current state of black-green is that you can just suddenly lose out of nowhere. But hey, Stin, nice to see you're chatting now. It was definitely a close match all the way through. Yeah, I'll go ahead and try keeping this hand. Turn 1 Vine Lasher, turn 2 Prowler. Seems actually kind of like a fun hand to try to see if we can just win with lots of life pinging damage for playing lands. We should be able to hit lands, considering we're going to dig 3 with a Prowler, and then we also have the Mosswood Dread Knight to draw us another card. There should be no excuse for missing lands. Oh, the reason why that works is it is an ETB trigger based off of how you cast it that reduces the amount of loyalty it has. So if you cast the Vraska and you paid the 2 life, it enters with all 6 loyalty, doubles, and then up to 12, and then goes back down to 10. I hope that answers the question. You know what? I'm worried the opponent has the ability to take away all my low-cost cards, so I'm just going to do this. Alright. Opponent's turn. Now I have to worry about Counterspell. Probably should have just played into the enchantment. Well, this will at least draw the Counterspell out of hand if they have it. Because they know I have Fabled Passage, which is going to do a lot of damage to them. Yep. And there's a chance now I can resolve Conduit. Now, the problem is Conduit, it doesn't have anything for me to get back, really. Because the opponent has just done nothing but exile. Let's see, I think I'll go ahead and get myself another black source here. Another green. Let's play the green source, play Dread Knight. It plays around No More Lies. Full attack. They don't dare animate that land, right? Alright, next turn, we'll attempt to attack first, see if we bait out a card from our opponent's hand, and maybe we can try to resolve Conduit of the Worlds. Have to go in. Now we got Smite, but they still have mana available. And it is Counterspell mana. Alright, we're gonna go for Prowler. Oof, I missed. Alright, looks like we're gonna have to go for the Argentum Masticore. If they animate that in attack, the only counterspell I have to worry about is No More Lies, but that is exactly what they would try to, like, hold up mana for, right? Oh, no. Wait. Oh, they have this thing, that's right. Alright, so they're going to have a counterspell for the type in hand. But I think we will go for the Manticore. But after the re-attack. And if the opponent doesn't feel pressure to cast anything, what they can do is they can use this to eat the map to draw. Harvester Mystery is not very useful in this matchup, so we'll probably end up using it as like one of our first discards if it resolves. Yep, there's No More Lies. We got through the counterspells. We should be able to resolve Conduit now. Opponent should not have any more No More Lies. I will not lie, the counterspell Exile plus all these things exiling. I hate Exile. The fact that there's no real interaction to bring your things back from it. It's just like the permanent answer. Yep. Well, the thing is, I don't think my opponent has 3 steps ahead. Combat. We'll attack. And I'm just going to try to play the Conduit out. I'm going to see if it resolves. I think they're holding on to maybe a Sweeper. Awesome. They tapped out. Now, I understand that this is a card draw engine that's starting to get used by control decks because they can use this or Mirrex to keep drawing cards. But I can use this now to keep fetching lands and keep getting value. So as long as my cards don't go into exile, I can keep replaying threats. One, two, three, four, five. It's interesting how it seems like the Caretaker's Path slash Elspeth is serving as sort of a replacement for the Deluge Wandering Emperor combo. You're running Lauren? Why are you running Lauren? Actually, I know exactly why they're running Lauren. The white-red combo deck, that token deck, requires Lauren to deal with the artifact. It's literally the only card that they run that helps them deal with the oil buildup threat. Alright, let's play Shieldred. This will get rid of Lauren. We can attack for 2. They can basically offset 1 point of life by creating the fish. Or they just take the 2. Okay. Why didn't you choose to build the make a fish? You had the 3 mana. For the Beza? But you still were gonna draw a card. I guess, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, let's see. We can play Virtue for the sorcery, and we can also play this to sweep up the board. Let's see what the opponent does here. Opponent only has 5 cards in the yard, so I can't transform this yet. Been using Requisition Raid for the Token Mirror. Does not sound bad. Oh no, I'm one short 1 mana to do this, aren't I? keep thinking it has 7 lands for some reason. I'm gonna pillage the bog. I want my conduit back. I'm gonna attempt to bring out the conduit. Oh, it resolved. Haha. We're back online. Alright. Your turn, opponent. Yep. The next turn I actually can do that combo with these two. Okay, now I can't actually get rid of those because of the talent level up. That could be a problem. Let's see, we can bring back the Argentum Masticore from the graveyard. It does eat up my whole turn, but it does mean I don't have to worry about an attack so much, because the Masticore is kind of large. We'll grab Masticore. Play the Masticore. Add the 3 mana so I can pay for the No More Lies. That's why I made sure to play the land and fetch first. But they're 3 steps ahead. But we can at least attempt that next turn. What you got, opponent? Let's see, I don't have the Verdi in my graveyard, right? Because it got... Yeah, both of these got exiled. They're going to attack with that to draw a card because of the token talent. Okay, so they're going to choose the map token, and they hit the land, of course. The thing is, they could eat those with the Fountain Port to just draw cards. We cast this from hand. The opponent knows that we can't cast from the graveyard. Let's go Masticore. Play the Cottage, and we're going to pass. So the opponent could just hit me with a board wipe here. But by board wiping, it does mean that, well, they board wipe themselves. I'm only having the Manticore come down so I can try to get rid of this talent, because the +2/+2 is just too much. Okay, yeah, this is them saying I'm going to attack with everything and I'm going to board wipe. Right? Well, let's go ahead and block, block, and block. Do you Elspeth smite before or after damage? There's Sunfall. I will discard this, give my own creature -2/-2. This will keep Shieldred from going to their side of the board. I'm sorry. It keeps Shieldred from going to exile, but also makes it that way this stays smaller. Elspeth, okay. Yep. You only have 2 mana. I think this is the time to go for it. We're going to go for the Vine Lasher. Offspring creates a token. Play land. Sacrifice. Opponent is down to 6. I don't want to get caught by that counter spell, so I'm going Virtue Persistence. So that way they don't have the lifelinker. And I pass. This way I don't get cut by another Sunfall. Because, you know, I'm trying to, like, go, okay, I bring out Glissa so that way I have a good blocker here. So we can block with this Vine Lasher. This one could stay on the board then. We try to recast this one. And then we get in the Fable, and that should be 6 points of damage. That is what I'm seeing as my ticket to get through this. Otherwise, it's play Lumra. Brings all the lands back from the graveyard. And now, granted, we only have the 1 land. Does it bring you back tapped or untapped? Tapped. So I guess we'd have to still play the land first. That's fine. What you got, opponent? Go long back and forth with his opponent, but this isn't lethal, so I think I'll just take it. Right? See, if I take it, that is 9. That's still not lethal to me. I will take it. Now that is lethal to me with the... Yep, lockdown. That's fine. So I don't have the Vine Lashers here at the moment. But I get rid of the tokens. I can now play Shieldred from my graveyard. That gets rid of Elspeth. But I'm still dead, aren't I? I think I still have to go for this, right? Yep. Go for Shelly. It gets rid of the Archangel. If it resolves. If it doesn't resolve, I just automatically lose there. Now, I can't cast anything else this turn. And activating, I'm not going to be able to because the opponent has Get Lost in hand. So it's better for me to hold up the mana for the land to use as a blocker. Yeah, this is definitely lots of back and forth here. I should have blocked with the lizard. Putting this in my graveyard still is the best course of action here. Alright, the opponent does have the ability to get lethal here. It's a matter of can they spot it. It's a very simple line to get lethal for them, because they just simply animate this, and they can fry this. So they have it in multiple ways. I'm just going to go ahead and scoop it up. It's taken them a while to figure it out. And I'm just like, I don't need to be here for this. And they're casting spells that aren't necessary for them to get lethal, so I'm out. I'm not going to wait for them to piece together what is very obvious. I definitely punted by blocking, well, not blocking with the lizard. But it is hard dealing with that level of just exile, counterspell. We have a decent match against them. It's just a matter of can we get through the counterspells. Alright, let's try keeping this. This is actually a pretty cool hand because we have the Prowlers to dig for lands, fill the graveyard for a Conduit. Just be nice to draw some interaction. Oh, look, we drew some interaction. That's nice. All lands. We'll still take the Cottage, because we'll probably play Prowler, and then we can play the Cottage tapped. Are they going to play that? Nope. Alright, cool. It's the Dread Knight. We'll play Prowler. I don't think I grab back anything, right? Oh, I don't even get the option to. Cool. Pass. Black-green is actually kind of a hard matchup because they just sometimes win out of nowhere. And there's also just the sheer part of they could have Terra Sunder in their deck, which can answer the Conduit. Let's play a Conduit. Pass. Next turn we can bring out Shelly. Shelly will make them sacrifice the knight. Unless they plan on sacrificing something else, but I imagine they're going to sacrifice the knight. So they can go level 2, and they can also still play a black 3-drop. Flesh Gorger. Nice. Okay. Let's see here. I think this is probably the better play. By getting rid of that, it means that the opponent can't grow this more, and if they replay it would be nice. Okay. So now there's not another body on the board, so we can get rid of this Flesh Gorger real easy. Play out Shelly. Opponent's turn. Let's see, what do we have to cast from the graveyard? We do have Shelly to cast back from graveyard. Probably would have been better if I'd done that than cast someone from hand. But that's fine. Alright. Do we just randomly lose out of nowhere is the question. They don't have any hand disruption and check their hand for Shouldred, which is something I probably might need to add. Go ahead and grab Lumra. At the very least, this means that I have a relatively quick clock for next turn. Yeah. Good game. Okay, so they chose themselves just because they know how cheesy of a deck combo it is. I respect that. I respect that. Now, granted, they won that match. They chose to target themselves because they know it's kind of a cheeseball deck. But the Innkeeper's Talent, it is too good of a combo with the Vroskas. I'm trying to think, like, what are some cards that we could use that would stop the combo and actually make sense to put in the deck. I actually did put Argentum Masticore in the deck with the idea that it could potentially answer the card. Same with the Glissa the Sunslayer. Maybe I might want to put that new Trash Panda in the deck that gifts the opponent a card that we can destroy any like artifact or enchantment. Oh well, this seems like a good hand. Let's keep it. Question is, do we get the double black or do we get the double green? Double black it is. And we will pass, holding up the discard for Harvester. Please don't have Pump Spell. Aha! Punished. Alright, we'll discard the Vine Lasher. Play Preacher. Preacher's great for if you're ahead or behind, so... We missed the green source. Okay, though, we have Prowler to dig for green source. We choose to play Prowler before we play our land, because we might hit one of the tapped lands. I do like both the cards on top. It means they're probably non-land cards. Let's just take the Marsh, just so we don't have to burn ourselves next turn for the Conduit. Okay. Okay, so it has Trample, so I don't bother chunk blocking it. We will discard Feed the Cycle, because otherwise I have to discard 2 cards if I discard Conduit. We're built around Conduit, so I'm going to hold on to it. Alright, we play Conduit. We play the Fable. Do I hold it back? Yeah, you know what? I will. Because if I trade, I can replay it. And then it becomes a question of how many times can you deal with a 2/4 Death Toucher. Okay, so they're going to fake their death. I take 1 trample. That's fine. Fake their death also gives them a treasure, if I remember correctly. Yep. They go to level 2. We have cards in hand, so we don't have to worry about anything here. And of course, we draw more lands. Oh, deck. You do love to troll me. bring out the Preacher. Do I care to bring out something else from my graveyard? I think I do. I kind of like that bringing out my Vine Lasher here. Means I can't bring out the Sunslayer. But we start getting some real damage on the opponent. And we pass. Whoa, whoa, I said pass. This game. Alright. Let's see, we block. And massive block. Because I can replay my things from my graveyard. I'm fine with if they cast and make it trades. My only problem is if my life total goes down to 0. Okay, so they're going to fake their death again. Okay. Do some more damage on there before they go. Something I can play, deck. There we go. Get rid of you. Play this, play this. And Bone will probably scoop up at this point. Yeah, I can't block the vent because it has Menace. Oh, nice. They're not going to take a single card from my hand. Oh, that's what we wanted. Now all I have to do is draw something to my hand that I can actually discard with Command Spore to get rid of threats. Oh, I should have played the land from the yard. Alright, what do you do, opponent? Attack with defense, I can double block, get rid of it. And we will do that. Both my creatures have first strike, so any pump shenanigans won't do anything. We need something for the draw. Local treasure. That's actually a pretty good draw, because it has reach, so the bat can't get in. And it puts cards in my graveyard, so now I have some of the threats we're looking for. Get in there, so that way we can destroy target enchantment. Now I don't have to worry about my hand going down. And pass to the opponent. Yeah, we got there. The more unique version of the Rakdos aggro that I've seen. Like they have discard synergies with the red pump. I think we'll do 2 more games of this, and we'll switch up to another deck. The deck performs decently. It does just move a little slow is the only problem. Seems like a fun hand. Let's keep it. Hunt's going to go first. See what they are color-wise. Red, white. Okay. Go ahead and get down the turn 1 Vine Lasher. I probably like the Boros token deck. It's been getting a lot of popularity. I don't know who came up with that Boros token deck first. I just know I saw it from Legend VD, and ever since I saw that video, I've seen the deck pop up everywhere. So I'm kind of curious if this opponent's playing it as well. Alright, it is definitely a control deck. And we'll pass. Alright, they hold off on doing anything. I'm not going to play the Vine Lasher for its offspring this turn. I might as well wait for next turn where I can get the guaranteed land drop. I feel like the opponent's just waiting on their interaction. Like they have stuff, but they're just waiting for us to bring down something to really use it on. Kind of like how we're doing something similar. What you gonna bring out, opponent? I'm gonna bring out Beza. Beza will give them life and a card draw. Yep. Beza does do that. Let's see, we will play the land, only get 1 point damage because we're going to use Virtue. And then we're going to cut down. We need something, whether it be land or other interaction. Okay, I finally have had enough of the Vine Lasher. Alright, Fraser goes to 3. It gets one of the... Oh, it only hits Carrot Cake. That's literally the worst card that can hit for them. Right? Well, I guess hitting Torch isn't that useful to them either. Oof. Alright, well, we'll Offspring. Pass. Where's our mana? What you got, opponent? Elspeth. Okay. To go for the minus, I'm just going to use cut down. Yep. And we can discard a misery to get rid of this to attack in. This can only be done for land sources, so yes, this will work. Get rid of Elspeth. And pass. Uh-huh. We're in a state where we just be fine if we kind of just drew lands, because then we at least have the ability to play Lumero and things like that, but... Alright. Get some damage in. There's Lightning Helix. Okay. We'll pass. Come at me, rabbit. I'll take it. Alright, they pass. We'll virtue the rabbit. What are you gonna do, opponent? We're just gonna go ahead and bring out the other Flying Lasher at this point. It probably plays into the opponent wanting to now play Beza. Like, they've been just probably sitting there, play a creature, play a creature. That way I can get more value out of Beza. Lockdown. Okay, that's fine. Alright, Stin, I see your dual challenge. No, I've always left it down to 1k. Other streamers usually have it like 10k or something like that. Oh, now the fetch land shows up. I don't have the dual challenge set to very high, so that way, like, if people want to, like, challenge me, they're welcome to. We'll just bring a Harvester of Misery. There's nothing to sweep with this, but a 5/4 menace creature, might as well go for it. Lumra's not going to give me much value here at the moment. Although, if I mill into the lands to throw it to the battlefield, then I can play the Virtues, maybe. It's not like I have much in the graveyard. Yeah, I promote the idea of, like, you coming in and challenging me. That's why Izzy is able to challenge me so often. There's no witnesses, so we at least get the ability to draw a card. They can use this to create a token because of this. I will put caps on things if I have to. Alright, let's just go ahead and offspring this right now. We'll use this to draw a card. I should have actually drawn the card first. This way, if I, you know, hit the land and the opponent decides to kill my creature before I finish drawing, I would have been in more trouble. So we can play Lumra. Lumra will give us back at least one land. Now, all the lands that it brings back will be tapped. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I might just play Virtue first before I play Lumra. Okay. So I can activate that right now to create a copy of their clue, which will give them a card draw because they create a token.
Today, not tomorrow, not next
Oh.
week. Today.
Fuck you, Ad. You weren't supposed to happen. Okay, what does the opponent do here? Timeout was used. I think we'll just go land and play Virtue. Pass. Now, if the opponent doesn't play the Virtue of Loyalty, I can bring back the Harvester of Misery to sweep up the board. But they could also just choose to level up the Caretaker's talent, and that would also stop me from sweeping the board. Now, I do have 2 Harvesters of Misery, so I could just play out the Virtue again. They did that. So, let's see, what do we do here? Block here, I'm thinking? Or no blocks? I'm gonna risk no blocks. So we'll go to our graveyard, right? Or I could grab the Beza. Actually, no, Beza? Sounds good. Let's do that. Because now we can bring out Virtue again. And we can fill the graveyard more. Ooh, that was nice. More damage. Pass. So let's see, we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. Make that 6. They do something to make it so that way Beza can be destroyed by, like, activating this. I can block the 5/5 with Beza, so that way Beza dies. Get Beza back, and then it'll actually create tokens, because I'll block with the Prowler against the other one. Okay, yeah, I like this, I like this. Okay. Yeah, come at me. So, we block with Beza, we block with the Prowler. Prowler puts more cards in the graveyard. Which means that the Luma has a better chance of hitting the lands that we're looking for. Or do we still reanimate the Vine Lasher? Alright, they use Get Lost on that. Okay, nice. We'll block here. Keep these. Grab Beza. Grab. What do we want? Vine Lasher adds more to the damage. We're looking at 2 lands in yard. think we'll grab Prowler. Okay. That's good. That's good. Alright. Play the Fable. 2 damage. Activate. Grab a Swamp. A few more damage. How much? This should be lethal. There's no way we don't hit more lands on the mill, right? Yeah, that's lethal. We did it! Vine Lasher Beza. Or Vine Lasher Lumra. Beza from our opponent, definitely helping us out. The deck is able to play the patient game, which is what our opponent is all about. I know it's not the most exciting like gameplay where we're just drawing, passing there, but the opponent didn't do anything to pressure us, and we just kept setting up, and then we just win. The opponent was trying to do something similar in the sense that they're trying to just set up to win, but they weren't drawing what they needed. Alright, Stin, what format did you want to play in? My most recent decks are mainly standard. Sure, sure. Okay. Let's see. I could play a deck that I haven't tested yet against you. So we can do that. Let's see. Where are you? Stan, you're Flunky, right? It's been a while since you challenged me, so I'm just trying to remember. Okay. Where's standard? That's right. Standard's just regular turn system. Alright. There we go. Tournament match. Click. I don't have a best of like 3 side deck setup, but I always offer the best of 3. There's like 2 cards in the side deck because they're like cards I was thinking of for the deck. That's like, yeah, these mainly fit more in the side deck. Yeah, best of luck to you too. Remember, you can always pop out the windows to read chat at least. Oh, this seems good. Let's keep this. Bring out Bristly Bill. Get in there for 2. Alright, I'm fine with trading for the token. It's a little bad, but... Red, white, green tokens. Okay, I like it. I imagine you're running the legend that's red, white, green. I'm not sure if you're running the rabbit, but I do think the other guy's worth it from the last set. Let's go ahead and bring out the Contaminator. We'll swing 3. Elspeth, okay. Alright, play to land. Trigger. I'm going to use the plot mechanic to get this trample. And I'm going to use Vextra to play this. That's going face, that's going Archangel. And we get to proliferate, grow everything. Anim Pakal, alright. I will get rid of the lifelinking token if possible. We will play this for 0. Trigger Beast Caller. Play a land. I'll actually go ahead and just put this over here. Feral Encounter. Grab this. Cast this. Ban that bot. And we will go fight from here to here. Swing for a ton of damage. I could have actually had lethal if I placed counters differently, not forcing you to, like, eat the thing there. Alright. I think that's a pretty good, like, curve I had on you. Like, I don't think I could have asked for much better from what this deck's supposed to do. And this is where my side deck is, like, thinking about what I was going to use. I haven't built it up properly. I do think the Scrap Shooter is going to be great for this, though. Just because of the ability to straighten the artifact or enchantment is going to be useful for the win out of nowhere decks. Or even the creatureless token decks. Alright, I don't have anything early game, but I think I will still keep it. Okay. Play and keep your style. We will play out Bristly Bill, play our land, counter, level up, counter. Now, I don't imagine you're running any pump spells that are just straight up pump. No blocks. You're looking for land. Okay. Let's see here. I'll play my Sentinel. Play my land. Counter on my Sentinel. Map. And put that one in the yard. Alright, your turn. Ah, that's a good draw. Nice. Alright, no blocks. I'm gonna go ahead and play out the Spinoderm. It has hexproof. So you can't target it, but I can. Eventually you have to hit that land on the maps, right? Because you're just not drawing lands. Yeah, it has hexproof. You can't target it. I'm just gonna do something real fast. Okay, so I missed land drop again. I play Feral Encounter. Grab the Evolving Adaptive. Play that. Combat. Yes, that's the order I want them to resolve in. From there to there. And we'll put another counter. Oh, we'll put a counter. Yeah, we'll put a counter here. We'll swing. It's got a limited time life, so, shelf life on it, so I'm going to go in right now while I can. Alright, you're going to get rid of my talents, but you're also going to just generate rabbits. Sure thing. Boy, I am not getting lucky on the land draws. Okay, there we go, we got land. We'll go ahead and put a counter... here. Swing the 8. Yeah, when it gets to 2 or less oil, it does gain trample, so good luck. Alright, yep, there's Virtue. Yep, you grow your team. Alright. This either grows with a +1/+1 counter, or I get a land, and it's going to grow with a +1/+1 counter. Let's go Feral Encounter. We find the Alchemist. Oh, I shouldn't have grabbed that. Alright, combat. From here to here. Oh, I should have actually taken out the Inspector. Let's hold this one back. Let's see, how much damage is going on the Spinoderm there? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Oh, okay. It's a shame I have 2 Snakeskin Veils to make it 10. Now, granted, I should have just done them there and had lethal, but I wanted to proliferate and make it last another turn. Okay. Land here. And we'll try to put you out of your misery now. Yeah, you can tell to get lost. I can't save it this time. I'll activate Bill, though. I'm trying to think, what was the green for in your deck? I saw Sentinel, but most of your stuff is white. I saw red was for Anim Pakal. I'm curious about your deck. Balin the Haymaker. Okay, you were running the Haymaker. Good, good, good. I like the Haymaker. You know what's funny? With creating token copies of stuff, though. If you actually use the oil generating thing, it generates tokens that say that you sacrifice at the end of the turn, but that's only an effect that's applied if it lasts the turn. If you actually make a copy of the token, it doesn't have that end of turn sacrifice. So, if I remember correctly, Haymaker. Oh no, you're using this guy. I was thinking you're using the other guy. Because if we go these colors, we also have the other person who interacts with tokens, which is the Mirror of the Wilds, who I think is just a better token synergy card. Because non-token creatures you control have the ability to tap to create a token that's a copy of a target token that entered your this turn. So you can actually like run this with the card that creates things based off of oil. Sorry, I need to hit standard because it defaults to alchemy. But yeah, if you actually use this with Urbas Forge, there's a fun little interaction between these two cards. So Urbas Forge says, if you read the token, it simply says trample and haste with an asterisk and a 1. But at the beginning of combat on your turn, you put an oil counter on Urbas Forge. Then create a X1 red Phyrexian horror creature token with trample and haste, where X is the number of oil counters on Urbas Forge. Period. That's the token that you make. Then after that, you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. That's an effect that the Forge makes you try to do. So if you would create a token copy of the Forge token before it's sacrificed, you actually get to keep that token. So one of the cool things is that you can actually have Mirror of the Wilds, make it so that way you can create a token copy, so you're like creating extra Forge tokens. But the extra Forge tokens, if they're not destroyed, get to stick around. That's the case with Urbas Forge tokens, because if you read it all the way and you look at the token it creates, it doesn't have that extra text written on the token. So I figure I just bring that to your attention because you're running those colors. I figure it'd just be a fun thing for you to consider. I'm not saying you should use it because your deck might not take the best advantage of this combo, but it's just kind of a cool card. Now, the card that you said you're running is the Rabbit, which, I'll be honest, it's good in Commander, but outside of Commander, it's kind of mid. Like, it's very slow. Because you get to tap 2 tokens to add a mana of any color. Tap 3 untapped tokens, draw a card. Tap 4 untapped tokens, put 3+1/+1 counters on Haymaker against Trample until end of turn. It basically makes it that way, like, all the maps, treasures, and clues can just be used to create mana without needing to, like, sacrifice them or anything, which is nice. You can also turn them into extra card draw. But outside of that, the last ability, just pump it up to swing harder. I'll be honest, I prefer Mirror of the Wilds quite a bit more. Now, granted, it does mean that you have to run some non-token creatures with your token generation, so that way you can get more value out of those tokens that you generate. But it's just, I think it's a fun interaction is all. By the way, people have been doing the that combo that I was telling you that you can do with the red, white, green guy, with the oil generating artifact, and they're also pairing it with the new talent that for 1 white mana you create a token copy of something. So that way you can, like, after the oil's built up enough that you can, like, create a copy and basically swing for more that could actually be surprise lethal. Or you're simply just going, okay, I just want this token just to, you know, stick around because I'm just optimizing my mana this turn. Okay, this looks like a good hand. Let's keep it. See, I think I'll go ahead and start with this. Our opponent is definitely mono red here. We will go fetch ourselves a land. Now, which color do we want? I'm thinking I need double black this time. I was picking my card. Patient person. Oh, you're gonna yell at me, huh? Alright, fine. I'll give a nice chuckle about that. I'm gonna eat that, like, emote. Alright. Bring out Preacher. What you got, opponent? Alright, do you have to get an answer for the show off? We do block the Challenger. I'm fine with trading Preacher for Challenger. Uh-huh. So far, I'm not taking any trample damage. It's just a trade. Now they could pump the show off here, and then I'll take 1 trample damage from this. Alright. How's this card working? If you control mouse. Okay. Yeah, I got lucky with the feral encounters against you, that's for certain. You know, I think I'm just going to use this and fetch myself another land. Because I already have all the cards, really, I want in hand. And I'm just going to discard, get rid of the show off. Oh, wait, I didn't click that. When I clicked the yell at them. Oh, well. I think the opponent thinks I'm trying to do the other deck that everyone's doing, and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the Vraska combo here, and I think they're salty, thinking I'm doing Vraska combo stuff. And they have flooded. Ooh, I feel bad for them. Alright, we will play Conduit of the Worlds. Play the lands. Fetch. Man, they are definitely salty. Alright, let's go and play Branch Parlor, fill up the graveyard some more. And I'm going to decline. I'm just going to leave all the lands in the graveyard. No reason to add the lands to hand since we can just play them from the yard. Yep. And we block. You pump? No, no pump? Oh, okay. Let's see. Play that one. Play out creature. And we attack. And there's a scoop. Just a little salt from that player, but then again, that's a lot of lands they drew. I actually like this deck and how it feels. I hope everyone else has been enjoying it. Wow, I just realized my win rate with this deck. It is 8-1? No way. I thought I'd lost at least 2 matches, but I'm 8-1 with the deck. Yeah, I'll try this one. Gonna go get ourselves a green source with this. The black-white could be discard. Could be bats. It's discard. Okay. We will start things off by getting a forest. And we will give up a virtue. I know this goes to exile. I'm just going to draw a card. Okay. Good, 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 good. Play fired bricks. Interesting. Gonna bring out the Dread Knight because they let go turn 3 black source, play Liliana. I can at least draw a card, replay it to the board. I play another white source. Hiding Blade. Okay, same idea. So start things off with the card draw. go ahead and fetch. Get another green source. So the opponent's playing like Flicker white-black. I'm not sure why they're running negotiations if they're doing that, but it's okay. Like, I'd just rather run more copies of, like, Tiny Bones or something like that. The enchantment to... and Tiny Bones shows up in place of that. If they're trying to do the flickering plan. Especially if they're playing Rottenmouth. Let's see, will we discard? I think I will discard. I will discard... Nah, nothing. I lied. We'll get this into the swamp. Play out Shieldred. Ask them to sacrifice that Viper. And get him for some damage. Opponent has 4 cards in their yard. It's important to keep track of the cards that count, just because once they have 8 or more, I can flip this. Now, granted, I imagine this Shieldred's not going to be around for much longer. More bricks. Opponent's apparently bricked up there. Writhing Blade. We will sacrifice the Knight. More card draw. Land? No. But we can get to land with this, probably. If you find the land, we will take the passage. So that way I can replay the Dread Knight. I don't even think I want to play more things to the board. Because the opponent is running that many white sources, it means that they're probably running Sunfall. And I can't recover cards from exile. There's Beza. So let's see, we could play Harvester, kill off our own creatures, get rid of the fish. Is that worth it? No, not really. So I could just chuck the Harvester at Beza, use Virtue. What do they have against this Dread Knight? Oh my gosh, this poor Dread Knight. Alright, well, we'll draw a card. Beza, we will go ahead and get rid of you. Swing 4. Not attacking with the Prowler because the opponent could like choose to block it, and then they could like play a Tithing Blade again. I think my opponent's just pinched on black mana, and that's the big deal about this matchup. Another Beza. Okay. Let's see, we can attack 4 around Beza. What else do we want to do here? That's 5 cards in the yard. I think we might just play Sheldred and draw a card. Eh, screw it. We're going to draw first. Technically the wrong order to do that in. Let's see here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. play Preacher. And I'm going to pass. I'm going to hold up Feed the Cycle. We have cards in the yard that we can use for the Forage ability. Okay, so I play Tithing Blade. I will give up the Prowler. Oh, thank you, opponent. I love that you're doing that. Alright, we'll Forage. And we will get rid of Beza right now. 1, 2, 3, and that's all I need to get rid of. So, Rotten Mathna has so many cards on board. We'll just discard you. Oh, wait. Cancel. I meant to do this one. So now I can flip Shelly. And we will activate. Transforms. We'll get rid of the Rotten Mouth. We can dig into our card that we built around, right? 16 cards deep. I was about to say, where is my conduit? There were 16 cards deep on a dig and we can't find the conduit? No way. Alright, cool. Found conduit. And we will attack. We'll get a 1/1 lifelinker. I think my opponent has decided to rage quit. By the way, Sin, that red-white-green deck, if you're still here, I'm just kind of curious, do you have a list that you can maybe post so I can take a look at it? I'm actually intrigued by your token plan there. I do think red, white, green tokens is interesting, but the problem is I haven't really come up with a good reason to run the green in it. Like, red, white's got a lot of really good token cards. The green technically has, like, 2 cards that I can think of that make it worthwhile, but I wasn't sure. Oh, did you get banned on my Discord somehow by the bot? Because you posted too much once? You should be available to, like, it usually times people out, doesn't ban, so you should be fine. I'll be honest, my Carbot actually was set up by someone else, and oh, okay. So the opponent had Lauren. That's unfortunate. Thought I was going to be able to actually do something interesting next turn, but I guess we still do interesting stuff. Combat, we'll attack. Get our life-linking token. Do we just play Virtue here, or do we... What's the odds they have an answer to Virtue, right? No, it wasn't any particular Discord. I just got locked out of the account and don't have the same. Oh, okay. Good. Oh yeah, you know that there's a Discord link, you know, down below, so it's not like it's too hard to get back in. Yeah, I'll block your fish. If you make me sacrifice my creature, that's fine. I gotta reanimate your rotten mouth anyways. Do I care to reanimate the rotten mouth, or do I just go for the shouldered back? That makes things difficult. Because now if I kill... Yeah, let's grab the rotten mouth. I was thinking about the fact it's like if I get this to reanimate and they lose Lauren, they just reanimate Lauren and it gets rid of this, and yeah, opponent has now scooped it up. I was actually just realizing I also have lethal here, I think. Because, let's see, I can discard this. Oh wait, I don't even need to discard this. I was thinking like this was still untapped for some reason. But I just animate this, attack swing, it's lethal. Because they chose to lose the 4 life to the rotten mouth. I think getting a new phone number is these days is brutal. So many accounts for these things use it for authentication. Wait, why would you need to get a new phone number? Well, that's kind of more the question I have. What's wrong with your old phone number? Now, granted, you actually can opt out of phone number the phone number checking if you like there's usually an opt-out button on those things. You usually have to set up in the settings once you make the account. Oh, alright, let's keep this. It's got early interaction with Cut Down and Virtue, and we have the Prowler. And we're against mono red. This is great. We have the answers. What does our opponent do? Ooh, cheeky. Alright, we're gonna cut that down then. Play the land. We'll go for the Prowler. Try to dig for the next land. There it is. We will grab... I can grab the basic. I don't need to fetch another swamp. And I'm actually fine with the idea of drawing more lands right now. Alright, well, let's go ahead and bring out the Sunslayer. Get in for that one. Next turn, we can bring out the good old children, the Apocalypse. Because Sunslayer says that we'll get to draw a card, this means that we'll gain life instead of just losing life. Yep, there's a show off. We're going to use Virtue on that, I think. Instead of playing the Shieldred, yeah, I think we're going to have to use Virtue to get rid of show off, so that way we don't risk getting just suddenly, like, blown up in the air. Yep. That's all they can play, because this can't cast anything other than their creature spells. Just manually tapping things. You know, we'll hold this one back just in case. Draw a card. Hitting 5th land is great. Hitting 5th land taps, not so great. Okay, there's Swiss Spear. We can block that Prowler. Yeah, let's attempt it. Force them to play their next spell before they draw their card. Yeah, so they were going to have the trample spell regardless. We'll block the Soak the 1. Play this Shieldred. There is Swiss Spear. I'm going to opt not to draw the card. I have all the cards I really want right now in hand. Alright, there's the Challenger. We can block with this Shelly. If they do that, that just spins the card into nothing and just burns the card unless it's a land. Oh, they got lucky, it's a land. Alright. Well, we'll just play Shieldred. I'm gonna hold back extra blockers. Why? Because I'm paranoid like that. Okay, and we lose 1 life, but we gain 2. We'll play this, and pass. The opponent should be dead next turn. Because we can Offspring this, play Passage, and swing for lethal. And if somehow they survive, this Shieldred should make them lose by drawing cards. Yeah, held back 10 points of toughness, just in case they pump this thing enough. Because it does have prowess, so every spell they cast... Yeah, and there's the mouse that gives it double strike. Uh-huh. You do have the land, so you could play this. Was it worth playing it, though? Yeah, no, that's GG. I just don't block. Because they already played their land, so they're all spent. And there they go. They scoop it up. Now, I could have just blocked it, let them have, like, one of our Shieldreds in the trade there. And playing this with the Offspring would have done 2, 4, and if we swing and we kept this Shelly, that 4's getting through, or we get the Sunslayer through, which is actually not enough to be lethal. Oh well. But still would have forced them to lose all their creatures. But this is one of the reasons why I was thinking like white-green tokens would be good, is just because of this creature right here. Because it's got trample built into the fact that it's also a 2-mana creature that gets +1. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. It seems insane, but I haven't seen anyone actually really run that outside the very few rabbit decks. Like, it seems good though. How are we doing? Have we lost again yet? No, we're 10-1. This deck is cracked. Holy cow, it's working well. I mean, I'll keep... I don't have the early game interactions. Alright. One's on black, we're on black. Are they also on green? Alright, they're black-white. This is probably played because it's buffing bats. We'll play the Prowler. I think... I'm going to take the Wastes. Well, the Bunnycorn is better because it counts all tokens, like all permanents. The other one's better because it just default comes with Trample, so it's like, you gotta pick and choose what you're looking for. Alright, we're immediately getting rid of this one. And I don't have any reason to block Quest Caller, so let's swing for one. We're probably going to play the Escape Tunnel and Glissa. Okay, so the opponent's actually playing a life gain deck. They're not actually a bat deck. They just happen to have bat synergies to go with life gain. Play out Sunslayer. Play out the Tunnel. Who needs Trample when Elspeth can make Flying Bunnycorn? No, that's... That is a pretty good thing, but then, you know, you get chump blocked by things like this. Alright, well, let's go ahead and sacrifice. And we will go find ourselves a... Swamp. See, how many cards are in their yard? Just the one. 3-tree... Oh, they're running 3-tree City. Nice. I'll say no blocks. Since their creatures don't get trampled, I'm going to hold this as a better block there. Let's play Shoulder. Which card do you give up, opponent? You give up the life gain. Alright. Pass. Aclazotz. Ooh. Alright. That's a problem. Push it in the graveyard. I need more things in your graveyard. Oh, that's right. That was the Scry, not the Explore. Let's see. Actually, that'd be a good play. Because if I play this, it can block Aclazotz. And now we have enough mana to play our Virtue. Did they just top deck a removal spell? No, wait, we saw the card. What was it? I don't remember what it was now. It was a creature, right? No, it's Case. Okay, yeah. Now they can create Mirrex tokens, which will grow Amalia. We're just going to leave it on top. Okay. Oh, they're just choosing twice, so that way they don't accidentally draw something that's bad for them. Okay. I mean, we block Aclazotz. We'll discard the... Ooh, if we discard the land, we give them a creature. Alright, let's discard this. You know what? I think I can take Aclazotz. We get rid of the Amalia. I know that it means that they can have these solved. Yeah, all has to be in one color, right? Chosen type, okay. Well, let's go ahead and play out Virtue. get rid of you. Why can't I cast you? No, like, why can't I cast this? Oh, it's because I have the escape tunnel as one of my lands. That's it. I didn't have another land untapped. Alright. Get rid of Quest Caller. And we will use the escape tunnel. Get another land. Combat. Attack. And attack. I'm holding shoulder back just because I figure I don't want to take any damage from the might. Okay, what's in our yard? We do have the Vine Lasher, but I think Sunslayer is my best pickup. No, actually we discard Manticore and reanimate Manticore. That sounds like the best play. Because I figured they're going to attack with Aquazots again. Okay, they didn't attack. We'll get the Sunslayer. We will play the Manticore, or Masticore. Combat. Attack with this. Because it has Vigilance. May as well swing it. Pass. I'm holding both my lands in my hand just because Masticore wants me to discard something. I know I could have played down one of them so that way Lumra could actually swing for some more. Alright, so this is an upkeep trigger. We discard, we get to blow up the Might. Because mana value 0. Okay. Played those out of order. You should have played the duo first, right? Oh, wait. They could play the duo. In which case, I feel like that was a wasted case there. Okay, so it's going to be our turn. Probably grab their Life Tree duo. Discard. Blow up the Might. I know I give them a bat for that, which isn't good, but I have to discard. It's part of how the card works. Oh my gosh, all the lands. Alright, we'll play another Virtue. Swing. Good, 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 good. And I can remove 3 counters. So it doesn't doesn't do what they wanted. Oh, that was great. So the opponent tried to block in an trade. And I completely get through that with the Glissa's ability to remove counters. They're probably thinking, oh, I'm going to draw a card. And I was actually originally thinking about blowing up their Convocation, but I'm like thinking, oh, I don't have to let the Lumra die. And worry about, like, Aclazot's attacking. Yeah, no, let's just do that. Oh, opponent. Gets caught by the sneaky, like, option nobody ever thinks to use on this, which is removing 3 counters from target permanent. Okay. Man, this deck, it went 11-1. So out of 12 matches, it only lost once. That's insane. Like, this is a pretty good deck. And I honestly thought this deck, it's running like black-green good stuff, but I didn't think it would be this amazing. Conduit of the Worlds definitely is working now that we don't have to worry about Farewell. The moment they Farewell rotated out, this deck actually became quite the contender. The only thing we lost to was white-blue control, which was denying us with counter spells and exiling all of our stuff. So it beat mono red multiple times. It beat. I'm trying to think, like, what didn't it beat? And literally, it's just the only thing it lost to was white-blue control. I like the deck, and this is a card that, like, when it came out, I was thinking, this is a really cool card, just because you get constant playback from graveyard value. And there's a number of creatures that's like, if I play back from the graveyard, it's super effective. And we have those. Like, we have the Shieldred, we have the combo where we can, we take advantage of the Masticore, which usually is just a giant downside to play. And I thought this was a great time here. Masticore is a discard outlet for the purpose of the Worlds, to be able to keep just replaying things back for value. But the Masticore also allows me to have removal for cards that are normally tough to remove. So yeah, I'll have to, like, discard, like say I have to discard my Shieldred here from my hand for the cost on Masticore, but that's allowing me to blow up a Planeswalker. It's allowing me to blow up an enchantment, an artifact, something that's not a creature that normally is a little harder to remove. And it being a 5/5 for striker means that it's a big enough body that even the mono red pump decks kind of just slam into a wall and don't do anything, because they usually require the trample to get over. 5 toughness is kind of hard for them to consistently get over for their own creatures. So, and the one of Lumra actually proved very good in the deck. I don't think I want more than one copy of Lumra. Now, if I want more copies of Lumra, it's because I want to do Iridescent Vinelash combo kills. But Vinelash is just proving to be just a very solid one-drop. It plays to the board really early, gets us lots of damage value, and it can be brought back from the graveyard for extra value with the Offspring mechanic. So even though I'm only casting one spell, I'm getting 2 bodies. And since I'm always playing back the lands from the graveyard, because we have Escape Tunnel and Fabled Passage, it's working really, really well. I'm trying to think, what's the flaws in the deck? Outside of just dealing with just somebody who just counterspells and says no. And if you're going against that, we can, and you want to play this in best of 3, you bring in cards that just make your opponent discard. You could play the Bandit, it's Bandit talent, right? Yeah, Bandit's talent. You can throw this in your side deck, Bandit's talent, to make your opponent discard. So that way, once when you get them low on cards, you're dealing damage to them for the win. And then you also get the draw step win. And you can also bring in other cheap, like, discard functions that you can just keep replaying with Conduit of the Worlds. Or you can even play, like, mid-game discard. With the option of the Hostile Investigator. Like, real side deck options. I'm actually thinking. Let's see. So we can throw 2 of these in here. We throw in 2 lilies, and we throw in bandits at like 3 of. There we go. We got a full discard style swap. And all these cards can be brought back from the graveyard with the conduit. So we're not losing any, like, we don't have any reason that just straight cut conduit from the deck. Now, granted, against a control deck, you probably just trim conduit maybe down to a 2 of. And you'd probably take the Chupacabra out, keep Shelly in. Take the Harvesters out of when you're playing against control. This Shieldred, possibly just trim it to a 1 of. Probably trim the Masticore entirely. And that would probably be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 of the cards right there. You just need 2 more cards to trim. At that point, it would probably be cut down. And there you go. You have the control match set up. Now, what would you side against other decks? Well, against mono red, I don't really feel like there's a whole lot we need to change here. Like, most of the cards are set up already to interact against mono red. That's right, we don't really need Virtue against the control, so you could actually trim Virtue. In which case you probably might leave like a Harvester of Misery or 2 in there in case they are the version that plays the gain life, create might tokens. What would you bring in against a other like what would be the decks that we'd have trouble with? Having trouble. Yeah, I'm willing to like hear out your suggestions if you have any for side deck, like a legit side deck. Like, name a deck type that we don't have answers for that we might need something. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. Terra Sunder. Terra Sunder for all those token decks that are relying on the artifact and enchantments. That would actually be something to bring in here. We'll go traditional standards, that way we have the full side deck unlocked. Do we have anything that enters that does that? Oh, that's right. The Scrap Shooter would actually be great. Now, granted, you have to give your opponent a card to use its ability, but it is a permanent, which means we can recast it back from the graveyard with Conduit of Worlds. So that actually would be worthwhile. Oh, for Graveyard Hate, if we're against an opposing Graveyard player. Now, I don't have the Dino that's necessary for this. That I think is the one you'd want to use. And that would be the Tranquil Phobrex. So for some reason, I still haven't crafted these things. These things are amazing. But this is what you bring in if you were dealing with an opponent who's dealing with graveyards. That also might be using artifacts, enchantments, or gain life. I actually think that's probably better than the Scrap Shooter. I don't want to leave these here because I'm thinking I need a craft if I'm making it. If you don't have the Tranquil Phobrex because you don't have the rare, Thrashing Brontodons, those will at least fill in a pinch. Is there anything else? Actually, Thrashing Brontodon, arguably better because it puts itself back in the graveyard, so I can recast it to keep blowing up the artifacts and enchantments. Nah, I still think the Frillback's still the better card. I won't lie, but there's reasons for maybe considering the Brontodon over it. Let's see, anything else? I can't think of anything else that's directly... Maybe is there anything that destroys lands? Guess how we can destroy those non-basic lands? Only in red? Okay. That kind of sucks. Oh, Assassin's Trophy. So we could actually run Assassin's Trophy. Totally forgot this got a reprint. I'll also use Blast Zone and 1 Demolition Field. That's right, I'm putting extra lands in the side deck because I'm coming up short on what to really add to the side deck. And the thing is, it's Blast Zone and Demolition Field both work with Conduit of the Worlds, but I don't really want to add them to the main board because I don't want to hurt my mana fixing. And I need basics for the Escape Tunnel Fabled Passage combo with Conduit of the Worlds. You gotta sell me a value on what the card is called that you're asking about. You didn't sell me anything. You just simply said, "What's that card called?" I'm actually just like thinking about like I normally just only do best of 1 stuff, but I think this actually is a option. Oh, Bailoff to fight against the discard decks. That's a good one. Yeah. That's true. But the thing is, my deck naturally has a ability to fight against discard because I can play things back from the graveyard. But no, you got it right. Bailoff would be a good card. Now, granted, I don't get value off discarding it myself. My opponent has to make me discard it. Just if you're thinking about like, oh, it synergizes with the Masticore, it doesn't. Your opponent has to make you discard it because it says an opponent controls. But it's still a decent option against the discard deck. You're correct. I just run so many double pips that it's kind of hard for me to bring in something that's taps for colorless. And only colorless. But I think the Assassin's Trophies are good. Because I can answer like a Mirix or something like that. And then I have the fact that they also can answer anything, really. I just have to worry that if I'm targeting a non-land, that it's giving the opponent ramp. But I think, yeah, that's a very solid side deck. Should we just try it in the best of 3? Real fast? See how well it does? I have no clue what the best of 3 meta is like. So it could be interesting. We'll do 3 games best of 3 and see how well we do. After that, probably have to call it a night because it's already past 10 and we normally call it a night at 10. But I did get started late, so gotta make it up to you, right? I already have those in the main board, and I already have a lot of things that are cheap interaction against red. Alright, not my best hand, but I think I'll still try keeping it. Opponent playing Counterspell deck? Really? Why would you play a Jhin deck in best of 3? Jhin is so weak in best of 3. I didn't even think of that. It's like, oh, I should play at least 1 Soul Guide Lantern in the side deck, just in case I come across this deck. Okay, Storm Chaser's Talent? Alright. Oh, okay. No, it's Esper. I'm not Esper, but Jeskai. We'll play this. And I think we'll just already start fetching with it. I think my opponent's... Oh man, what are they? Are they just simply a control deck? I'm not planning on blocking with the Vine Lasher, so I will attack. There's a risk that my opponent had like a shock or something and could have gone to my face and blocked, but I figured they would have just shocked this. Alright. So, Jeskai Otters. What's the white for an Otter deck? Alright, Torch the Tower. That exiles, that's bad for us. Oof. Lots of land. Alright, we're gonna pillage. 6 is deep enough. Alright, do we... Yeah, we just get Conduit. It was like literally a question for a second. It's like, do I bother with the Conduit or do I go get something else? Now, I figure the opponent is playing more control version of this deck. So they're probably using Ral. The Otter Ral. So let's go ahead and fetch, and then we're going to use Choops. And because we fetched, we have 2 cards in the yard. And that should mean that the opponent is not able to protect their little token here. Because they could have fired off a burn spell in response if I didn't fetch a land to grow it to a 2/2. This Choop, by the way, is the 1-of in the deck, because it's something I can replay with Conduit, kind of like Shieldred. But Shieldred is at 2-of because it's a little more consistently useful. Alright, opponent's tapping out here, so I'm going to resolve Conduit, even though we don't have anything to really play back from the graveyard. It does give us the ability to immediately fetch at least 1 land. Because we play the long game, so I'm not worried about, like, rushing out Creature. Alright. Creature. Play the lands. Play the Prowler. Fill the yard. I don't need more lands in hand, so we'll leave them in the yard. Pass. Now, opponent can hit me with the Sunfall here. Sunfall will exile 3 cards, or creatures, because of this being a cast trigger. They don't Sunfall me. Ah, excuse me, that is so rude. Okay. I was not expecting Make Your Move out of all the cards, but alright. Alright, let's just go ahead and pop an Otter. Let's resolve this while we still can. And we'll stay on the defense. I wonder if the opponent is actually running any of the creatures in their deck, or if they just went solely, like, just Otter tokens are the only thing that they generate for the Pearls of Wisdom. Huh? Looks like they're planning on animating this. Nope. Alright. Opponent just has all the removal options here. Like, I was not expecting Make Your Move. I won't lie. Alright, let's draw a card. Draw another card. We will play 1 Dread Knight. and pass. I'm holding up Feed the Cycle for the animation on the Manland. I'm just trying to figure out, like, are they trying to win with anything other than Storm Chaser's Talent? Because we can easily bring in removal for that. Okay. Alright. We will forage. We will remove the cut down, the pillage, and this forest. Block here. Alright, opponent is out of cards now, so maybe we can do something. Another talent on top that does immediately buy them back a spell. If I play... Oh, what spells do they have? They have Lightning Heal. Let's just go ahead and say good game, move on to the next. Oh, alright, cool. We know what they're doing. We know the Terror Sunders come in. And so will the Thrashing Bronzodon. Do we bring in the Assassin's Trophy? I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring in the Band's Talent, bring in the Hostile Investigator. I'm not going to bring in Lily. We're going to go down Masticore by 1. This Shoulder will completely remove. Go down 2 Virtues. 1 Vine Lasher. Go down the Cut Downs. What else should we remove? We'll cut 1 Prowler. By the way, you're saying that Glistening Deluge might be because of all the tokens. Oh, the which one was Glistening Deluge again? Oh no, I don't think I like that one. No, I don't think I do that one. I would probably do the -2/-2 to everything that also exiles my opponent's cards, but not my cards. Let's take play. We'll keep. So we can go Tunnel, Marsh, Prowler. And I'm going to start with a double green plan. I forgot though if I might just want to go Dread Knight right away for the card draw. I don't want to miss my land drop, so let's do this first. Okay. Definitely gonna hit the land draw then. Alright, there's the talents. We'll bring out Glissa, because Glissa is able to potentially remove the talent. They have to have Burn Spell for Glissa. They're going to torch the tower. They sacrificed the enchantment that I was worried about. Okay. The problem is that does exile the Sunslayer. But if I got rid of the enchantment by the opponent doing that, I'll take that trade. Like, my 1-1 attacking that way? Yeah, no, I'll take that trade. A little worried about counterspell, but let's go for it. Alright, it resolves. Next turn, we can start just playing the lands from the graveyard. Probably go land into the Masticore. Alright, opponent really hates artifacts. Wow. Okay. Fine, we'll play a Harvester of Misery. Let's get rid of that Otter. Like, they mainboard Artifact hate, and then they bring in this as a side deck card. Alright. Oh, they whiff with the Trainer. I'm gonna imagine that was like just a bunch of lands there. Oh, let's attempt to ban this talent. What do you discard, opponent? They discard Sunfall. Ooh. That's a big one. Alright, let's go ahead and swing 5. Alright, so they use Get Lost. We can bring out the Dread Knight and attempt to put counters on it. They're tapped out again, so I'm going to attempt to go fetch our artifact once more. No, it's not here. Why is it not here? Alright, I guess we'll go Investigator then. And we'll hit the hand. Alright, we hit the Season of Weaving out of their hand now. Alright, that's fine. Our opponent is empty-handed, so we should be able to do something here. Let's see. The top 12 didn't have our second conduit. Maybe the next 12 will. No, it didn't. Alright, the opponent's empty-handed, right? Yeah, so maybe I just do this the boring way, play Shoulder of the Apocalypse, and we win because our opponent draws cards. Shoulder's got 5 toughness, so all the burn spells we've seen doesn't work on her. Okay. Sleight of hand allows them to dig into a card, but they choose that they can probably just draw better. Let's level up. Let's see if we can find another land. Okay, find the land. Let's Offspring Vine Lasher. Play the land. Attempt to map here. I guess we'll keep the Vine Lasher. So they take 2. Then they lose another 2, and yeah, there they go. They scoop it up. All right, we're 1-1. I'm trying to think. Maybe I just abandon the conduits because we know the opponent's so artifact removal heavy. But if I do that, am I going to get punished? Quite possibly. I think we'll just run it as is. We'll stick with what we've done. Opponent's got a little better idea of our synergies. Oh, I just realized I probably still should have maybe switched out one of the Masticores for Liliana. Yeah, it should be fine. Got a lot of card draw, so we'll try it. Oh my gosh, this opponent always starts with this talent. Okay, that's a good draw. Yep, take another 1. Attempt to bring this out. I'm going to play the Cottage as my land for a turn. Alright, we're going to catch a counterspell probably. No? Alright, in which case they're going to use Torch of Tower on this during their turn. Okay. I can trade into that. That's fine. Because then I can draw a card, replay it back. Ooh, okay. Swing. I'm gonna pillage. I want to try to find something to get rid of that talent. Did I get caught with the pillage by not playing my land first? I should have played my land first regardless. Alright. Vine Lasher. Play Swamp. Draw a card. Ooh, Bandit's Talent. There we go. So we'll probably play Vine Lasher, attempt to Offspring it. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that one sit there. Let's see. Play this, play Bronzodon. Oh, geez, opponent, you played right into this. I was just planning on blowing up your talent from the start. Now, it is true I don't get those map tokens this way, but I didn't want you to get the advantage of getting back one of your cards. Okay. Yep. You're gonna go pearls over your removal spells. Okay. Let's Offspring. Play the land. Trigger. Activate. Swamp. Activate. Forest. Play the Dread Knight. Yep. Cross triggers. Need to get a removal spell for this. Now, technically, I have a removal spell in my graveyard. I could get it back with Conduit, but it takes me full cycle of the turns to do that. Block 1. The... Play Conduit of the Worlds. Play this. Chip some damage. Activate. Chip some more damage. Pass. Holding up the... Feed the cycle. Now I could die because we know the opponent does play the Convoke 4 damage spell. I'm gonna try to deny this. If they try to level up the talent, that's probably the best thing I could ask for, because then I could play out the Brontodon and be able to destroy it before they can really chain spells into it. We do block here. Okay. Play the land. Fetch the land. Play Lumra. That's a terrible mill. Oof. Yeah, that was just terrible. Alright, let's play Bandits. At the very least, we get them to discard an action card. And we'll pass. This way, if they have a removal spell for Lumra, we could still potentially block the Otter and not lose to an attack. Okay, there's Sunfall. So, looks like we're going to be playing out of our graveyard. Do I just attack the hand? Or do I... See, opponent's at 8. I think we go for the hand. Play out the Investigator. And by playing this out, I can now level this up. Fetch with 1. Replay it for my land for a turn. And I'm not going to level up Vanish Sound to level 3. Because I don't need the card draw on it. If they kill the Investigator, I can animate the land. They do have a Helix in the graveyard. Uh-huh.
Next station.
What is that? 6. I'm gonna fetch.
Transfer here to Commercial Waffle Store Station. Sport Food Station. Transfer here to Commercial Waffle Store.
Animate the cottage. If I can get them to point that Helix at the cottage, I might actually be able to win. Make your move. Okay.
Station. Transfer here. Here.
Wait, that means I do have the win, right?
Doors are closing.
Since I block here. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, that's lethal. Where is it? There it is. With Offspring. And we'll offer the GGs. Because we play this, that's 2. We fetch, and each one of these are 2 to be exact lethal. The opponent won't let me finish it off, but I can understand it. It takes a while for all those triggers. So, very interesting deck from the opponent. They literally are just winning off the back of Storm Chaser's talent and the man lands. Interesting. I still think Ral's probably somewhere in their deck. We just never saw it. But we were able to prove our deck actually does win against control. Especially in a best of 3, where they have potential ability to get answers for the Conduit of Worlds. Opponent did answer Conduit of Worlds in the earlier matches, and we lost the first match, but we won the second one and the third one. So I think it's good. Oh, that match took way too long, though. This is why I usually stick with best of 1s. But I have to admit that was actually nice to see how well the plan comes together, though. But it does mean, when I was saying like I might need something to hate on graveyards, I should have something to hate on graveyards. Now, that's why I was saying, like, instead of Thrashing Bronzodon, the other creature's technically better. Yeah, I'll take out 1 Assassin's Trophy. And I'll take out... Baloth. And we're just going to go for the easiest way to hate on people's graveyards with Soul Guide Lantern. Because for 1 mana, ECBs, exile a card from a graveyard. Problem is, it does have to target a card in the graveyard. So if your opponent doesn't have any, you do have to exile one of your own cards. This other option is you tap, sack it, exile like each opponent's graveyard. You don't have to target them. So if they like somehow get themselves hexproof, doesn't work. And if your opponent doesn't have anything to hit in the graveyard, well, you can always just sack it to draw a card. So it does turn into emergency card draw. Now, I do think for side decking purposes, the Dino that we don't have is the best option. The Tranquil Throwback. This is probably the card we need in here over Thrashing Brontodon, because it gains life, exiles Graveyard, and destroys an artifact or enchantment. It does it all. Now, it does mean that once we're playing against a control deck, and that we're using it to pop like an artifact or enchantment, that if they Sunfall and exile it, well, we can't get it back. Where there is still the advantage that Thrashing Brontodon does allow us to still do it. So I think like some mix of the two is good. Like maybe just at least one Brontodon, one Frillback, and then we only use like one Soul Guide Lantern. I think that'd probably be like the good mix. Because they're meant to be side deck cards. They're meant to help you with a matchup, not necessarily be guaranteed. I do think the deck flip to have discard options with the Band's Talent, Lily on the Veil, and Hostile Investigator were good options. They definitely came in handy against that control player. Alright, I think what we're going to do is we'll do... I was thinking, do I do one more game, but it's getting kind of late, and I do need to call it a night. So I think we're just going to have to, unfortunately, call it a night here. Thanks, everyone, for joining. I hope you enjoyed the matches and the deck designs. I do think we came up with, some fresh designs that people aren't necessarily playing.